And we're live. Welcome to our Pacific Rim US Scrum. Here today it's me, João, Patrick, and Vijaya. So let us start with Patrick.
Okay, so I reviewed your PR, Hua, for the what was it for? Anyway,
Tasks.
yeah, exactly, for the old task management architecture. I did have just one comment about some comment in your code about when you're referring to events, where I thought we should be referring to tasks, and I didn't. So you didn't change that, so I may have understood what was meant there. Maybe we can put that in the parking lot. And I also did a little rough outline, high-level design of the so-called cruncher architecture, and I've updated what I posted this morning, updated a little bit this afternoon, so I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look at that. I'd like to get any input before I actually start building the thing, building a prototype tomorrow. And that's it from me, no blockers.
Okay, so, Vijay.
Yeah, I finished all the drive addresses related, all the control, all the forms. I'm working on Cucumber test. I modified the seed file. I got error, and Patrick fixed that seed file related. That is the update. And last Friday I have a problem. I resolved that issue, calling one form to another subform.
Okay. Do you currently have any blocker?
No.
No. Okay. Amy.
So since the last stand-up, I merged the job seeker home codebase with the job developer feature branch that I'm working on, and this had the effect of moving the relationships logic over like it had with job seeker. And now I'm working on the pagination, which is probably going to be a partial, as that's the way the paginations that I'm mimicking seem to be. I also looked for tests to make sure that I had test coverage, and I do. So once I solve the pagination, I will be ready to submit that feature for review, and I'm waiting for confirmation that a job seeker is acceptable and ready for rebase, and then I'll rebase so it can be merged with the development branch. I need some help with my pagination in the parking lot.
Any blocker?
Needing help with pagination and waiting for the go-ahead on Job Seeker 202.
Okay. So me, since Friday, I reviewed all the comments that you made, Patrick, this morning. I updated the code. I removed the task settings that was not supposed to be there because it's not used, and changed all the comments that you pasted there except the target one. What have I done more? I merged jobs PR this weekend after a new review. Also, I've started working on the settings edit for the cruncher. Then I just stopped working on it because I didn't want to work on that, and I just started working on adding new functions into our models that I believe they are currently missing. So I believe I'll create a PR today with a bunch of them, with a bunch of changes also in some factories and stuff. During the afternoon, I created a new PR also with a whip for the can. if someone wants to take a look into it, I believe we need to revisit our authorization matrix, because we made it not the can way, because the can do authorization over the models. We focused our authorization over the controllers. So we might need to revisit that, but I pasted also the comment on the chat if you guys want to take a look. I also created one controller authentication there. And I believe that was it for me. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Anyone would like to add anything?
I think in the parking lot we should add a more of a discussion of the can problem, because I don't fully understand it at this point. I understand what you're saying, but it'd be better to look at that in a little bit more detail.
We can talk about it. That's why I created the PR as well, so we can see how can work and have an example of it working. I also created cucumber tests and RSpec tests for that specific controller, so we can have a look into it. Anything else? Nope. Yes. Okay. So, first things first. Amy.
Okay.
I've been debating all day about this with myself, and I don't want to merge your PR. But I'm going to merge it because it's a story that's open for 30 days now. And this is going to be the last time that this happens, where we merge stories and then in the end we unmerge stories again, and this is going to be a mess if we start doing this. And I think we have the same problem with Salim. So I'll try to have this talk with Salim as well. We'll talk about this on our sprint planning meeting, the next one. Because by reading the story that we currently are associating our PR with, your story is not complete, because it doesn't redirects a user to the correct page. So just by that, it's not complete the story.
Okay, then the story should have been rewritten, because we had sprint planning and we discussed this, and the feature for automatic redirect was a global thing and it wasn't created yet.
Yeah, but the problem is this was the first one, the first story, and this story should have focused only on the redirect, not on the full creation of the page and creating a jobs page and everything. This is extras that shouldn't be there, and that added to the story, add to the final work of the story, that are not related with the story. So we need to when we're doing things, when we do something, we have a story that should do A. We shouldn't do A plus B plus C, because in the end we'll have a very big story and it doesn't really add anything up. And then we'll have a story that takes 30 days to complete, and that's not what we want. We want quick turnover on the stories and everything. Okay. But yeah, just rebase. I'll just revisit it, because I think I saw things there that I like it. I don't like very much, but then I'll create bugs or whatever. Let's close the story.
Okay. So do we need to rewrite the case manager story so that the completed story will conform, or do we want to stop that development so that we can develop the universal redirect?
We can use the next story to implement the redirect.
Okay, I'll make a redirect story. That's beyond my skill set, so it will have to wait for somebody who can do it. Otherwise, I would have just done it with this story.
Okay. You had another problem that was.
I wanted help with the pagination.
Okay. So, are you going to share your screen?
Yeah, hold on a sec.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I mean, did we? I guess I missed that. We decided as a team that we're going to do, rather than direct somebody when they log in to a page through some logic in the header or the layout, we're going to use some kind of universal redirect to specify a home page for a specific type of person. Is that that's what we decided to do? Sounds like that's the case. Guess I missed that, but
Here we have two options. A very simple one and a very simple one. One is we have one controller and one endpoint that will redirect there everybody, and then we generate the pages. And this one will imply some more work because we need to fetch from multiple places information. The simpler one is just to, when we sign in, after we sign in, instead of redirecting it to the root or whatever device redirects us, we have a little switch there and say, okay, if we're a job seeker, you go to the job seeker page. If you're a job developer, you go to the job developer page, and an agency person page, and that's it. So I don't think that any of the two is a very big story or a very hard story. You just need to see what's best. I believe device allows you to send the user after a login to a certain page. I didn't look into it, but I'm almost 100% sure that's the case. So.
okay, and we don't want to do that latter if we do it within logic on the layout, right? We want to do it.
We want to do it as simple as possible, and if we have a logic, for example, the job seeker logic should be inside the job seeker controller, so it's easier just to send the user to the correct place.
Okay. Sorry, Amy.
Sure, no worries.
Talk about that before you're.
No, it's good.
Yeah, I'll come back at the part. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so last week we realized that the job developer and the case manager may be the same person. And we talked about the case manager homepage is probably going to be the job developer homepage. So since we're having issues with how the stories are written, I think we should tackle that story first. So I'm going to pull that up. And I'm not using Waffle because Waffle's really slow and I'm sharing my screen. So I'm looking for this in issues. Case manager homepage. Okay, here we go. All right, so this has the redirected to homepage after login. And do you want a separate page controller, Yua? Because right now what we're using is the agency people controller. So what here is JD Home will simply become Home.
The story was created before we decided we will merge all the people inside their own type.
Yes, when the story was created, we believed that the case manager and the job developer would never be the same person.
So yeah, we don't need to create any controller, but we just need to use the one that we have.
All right. Okay. So we need, this is another stories. Like job developer, we need job seekers associated with the case manager. Let's see what issues these are.
I don't know. That's part of the story, and that's part of the creation. That's part of the story. There's no need to be writing it down what's supposed to be there, because the person that picks up that story needs to look at the case manager and try to come up with a list so we can pick that list up and send it to chat. So
Okay, so this story here, the list of job seekers related with the case manager, should we delete that or merge it?
that's an assumption, and I believe we will keep that story. There's like 2 examples there that I believe they will be present on the page, but we need to discuss that with chat. Every home page we need to pick it up. We need to list the things that should be there. We need to pick up that list. We need to send it to chat and ask him, chat, is this okay? Is this not okay? Do we need to change something? Do we need to add something? And then we'll create the stories and we'll populate what we need to populate. But we need to do that work first.
Okay, I thought that had been done already. So this issue is not ready because it's in our ready column. I thought that we were going to start it.
That's one of the issues that I believe will be present, but as I said, I'm not 100% sure. We moved on the last sprint planning, I don't know if you remember, we moved everything that was not job related to ready so we can take a look and try to give points to it.
Yeah, I think we have points assigned to this.
If it's in the ready column, it darn well better have points assigned, right?
Yeah.
Ready.
Oh, good, it came up. Okay. We've got the home page, the list of job seekers, and the list of job seekers not assigned to a case manager. And then these look like they belong in those stories. Name, last login date.
Yeah, those will belong to those stories when we have that list, and we can add them there. So before that, I'm not sure if we need to be moving things around.
What fields did you want to be associated with the list?
Sorry?
What fields for the job seeker?
I don't know. I give an example. That's why I said that story, for example, the case manager one, it should be the output of it should be create a page and show the page, and also from that story, the output should be a list with all the possibilities that we currently have of getting information to the case manager that might be interesting with the fields that they will show, and pick up that list, send it to chat, and then when chat comes back, pick up the list, populate the correct stories, and then just fill up what's missing.
Okay. All right, and you still favor the idea of a single homepage for the case manager and the job developer?
There are things that we might need to look into, like the way we are going to display information, and I believe there are things that will be duplicated, but yeah, we need to. I think we should do everything in the same page as well as the company is going to be the same thing, and so.
Okay.
I mean, this is really an agency-person landing page, Amy.
Yeah.
The reason I say that, this is the page that somebody will go to who's not even a JD or a CM at all, but they're part of the agency. They'll be popped into this page. It'll say you don't have any job seekers assigned to you as case manager. You don't have any job seekers assigned to you as job developer, but they'll still go to the same page.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to talk about the piece that displays this information, which is currently on the job seeker job developer homepage. This is a partial that displays job seekers. So I can't show the old one, which didn't have any pagination, because I've been in the middle of developing it, and it's not showing that anymore. I'm in the middle of converting to a new view. So this is the partial that represents the new view, and it gets called here in Job Developer Home, and I want to pass it the local variable job seekers, which is identified here.
You're outlining this as your job seekers, yet you're displaying job seekers without a job developer.
Oh, right.
But anyway, I get the idea. You're just picking up the wrong method there.
Right, and this is also the this list is the only list that's long enough to paginate. Your job seekers is only like 1 or 2 people. It won't paginate.
Yep.
So I'm developing it here, and then if it works,
just don't ship it that way, right?
No, I won't ship it that way. So what I want to be able to do with this partial is I want to be able to send it any list, because we're calling a list of job seekers 4 times, the one each for case manager and job developer, and then 1 each without a case manager or a job developer.
Yep, makes sense.
And I'm copying it from here. I'm using this as an example. And I gather that this corresponds to here.
Yeah, exactly. The params business there, line 30, that's added for the Ajax stuff. You don't need it for what you're doing right now.
I don't need this.
In your version of, yeah, don't delete it from here because this is the actual back branches thing. Yeah, that the
Right.
params data type, that's used for
Right.
the Ajax stuff, so the controller knows what to do.
Okay.
For simple pagination, you just need the param name and then the page number of the collection that you're paginating.
Okay.
Branches page and param name is the page number that the user has selected to go to. So it's sent up with the parameters. It's on line 11. The parameters includes a hash that has a key called branches page. Branches page is equal to, let's say, 3. Because the user was on page 2 of that collection of branches, and they clicked the next button. So
Okay.
the params branches page gets assigned the value 3, saying to the controller, go to the next page, which is page 3. That's what's
Okay.
going on there. And so that's how you can do multiple pagination collection within the same view. We'll paginate and figure it out with that mechanism.
Right. And using unique names like this keeps them separated from each other.
Exactly.
Okay. What about this line here, the params data type?
So that's all within the if clause for XHR, which is the Ajax call.
Okay.
So there, what I'm doing is I'm telling, if it's an Ajax call, I want to update just a piece of the view. So I'm telling the controller, just return to me the branches, the div that comprises the branches page that the controller selected up above. So I'm just going to update the branches table, and I'm going to leave the rest of the page unaltered. And so the view will get back, the JavaScript will get back just the div that it can use to update the branches table for page 3.
So why do you need to worry about Ajax, but I don't?
Because it's using Ajax requests to do it.
Yeah, I'm updating the tables in place without doing a refresh of the entire page when the user goes from page to page within branches. I don't want to update the page each time to show the third page of branches from the second. It's a smoother user experience. Otherwise, if you have 3 pagination collections on the same view, each time you hit the next page on, say, one of the 3, the entire page will reload.
Won't I need that though if I have 4 views?
You will. So what I was suggesting is let's go ahead and do this without Ajax initially, just get it working with multiple pagination collections on the same view. And then is another story, just to keep these more atomic, smaller. We add pagination to your multi-pagination view. So we'll go back and add some Ajax stuff to it.
Okay.
It builds upon, it's not like we would tear apart anything you're doing. It builds upon what you would do initially.
Okay.
It's not wasted effort.
All right. So this does not need to be here then? At least not yet?
No, the XHR business is all Ajax.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's save this and see if it works. So I guess I just leave what does this correspond to?
You want to get rid of that dangling comma there, 124. Otherwise, Hamel will complain. Job seeker, if you go back to that line you just asked about. Yeah, exactly. That's what it corresponds to. So you're going to be using that same partial 4 different times from the same calling view. And you're going to have to pass in that param name each time. It has to be unique for each collection. Not at the controller level. Your view is calling that partial 4 times, or it will be that. Where's the top view for this?
Yeah, but it's there. Yeah. It's on
This
the
is the
locals.
home page.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
It's the locals. Need to pass the variable on the locals as well.
Yes. Yeah, so the second variable, another variable for locals has to be the name
Job seekers
of the
page or something that you call it.
Sorry, what?
So, can we go back to that partial?
It's a second.
Yes.
See where you have param name job seekers page? If you're using this
Yes.
partial 3 times, let's say,
Uh-huh.
or let's say just twice, calling it from
Okay.
the same parent view,
Uh-huh.
you're using the same tag for the name of the collection, job seekers page. That's a tag that Web Pagina is
Right.
using. You're using that
Gotcha.
same tag for 2 different collections. So
Right.
if you hit next page for the first collection to go from page 1 to page 2, the second selection will also go to page 2. So you have to have a unique tag for each time you use this partial. So rather than param name job seekers page,
Uh-huh.
call it, just remove the quotes, make it a local variable, and then back on the parent view, add a second local. So you may want to, yeah, okay. So was it job seeker underscore page it's called in the partial? Job seekers page. Colon.
Colon after or colon before?
Colon after.
Okay.
And just give it some unique name here. Doesn't
Okay.
really matter what it is, as long as it's unique relative to the second time you use the partial within the same parent view.
So like if I was using numbers, it would be JS1 or whatever, and the next
do
one would be
that.
JS2.
JS underscore no underscore JD underscore page or something like that. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, but that needs to be quoted
It needs to be quoted.
Yeah, it has to be a string.
because it's a string.
Okay. All right, let's see if this works.
You remember you changed the name job seekers page now to whatever it is you call it in the parent view.
So let's see. We're talking about this here, and that corresponds to This here?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
It doesn't correspond to that there?
Oh, no, not there.
That's the problem, is that as JD job seeker returns an array, and an array doesn't have a page function on it. If you go to the administration part again, can you go back there? You will see that agency people will return a where. That's what we talked about. It will return a where, and that where will have a page function. And currently your method is returning an array instead of a active record collection.
Okay. So
No, go to that function that returns whatever data on your controller.
I'd like to see the agency people method with the paging in it so I can see what it's supposed to look like.
Agency people, it's internal to the active record, so you'll not be able to see it.
I see. All right.
Well, you have to return. Can you show us the function that you're using on your side? The one on the right. That function as JD. That one. Can you go there? Can you go to that function? Yep, that's all. Can you just double click on the name of the file there? Okay. Okay, so go search for the function again.
Down here. This is it.
Okay, so that does not work.
Rather this one. Okay.
That does not work because you're creating a simple array.
Okay.
I'm not sure if block will do it. Let's see if block will do it.
Now, why does, for example, branches return pagination? Is that something to do with the branches model?
Because if you see branches is basically what you define as a relationship. So branches are connected directly with the company.
Whereas job seekers are through the proxy of the relation?
Block will not do it. Do it. We'll need to create a where clause that will return that. I believe. No. Yes. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will need. Oh, but this is. Okay. This is in agent. Can you go to agency relations or whatever name? There. Next one. Yeah. Create a scope. There, where you'll receive.
Hold on a sec. I need to copy it from.
It's the name. It's 2 points, name, comma, between parentheses the parameters, and then a arrow, and then curly brackets.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Scope, 2 points, name, comma, parameters, arrow, curly brackets, where have it on the chat there.
Oh, you put it in the chat?
Yeah. That's how.
Okay. And name is the name of the scope that we're going to use, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's already something there. So, we can use
Okay,
the previous where.
We can use this previous where?
Yeah, and can you show me the enroll thing? When you call this function on the agency person. Look, the agency person. So, down. Yeah, you're there. So we have a where till that place, and then why are we getting just the IDs from there? Is there any scope? No, sorry, that's the one. Okay. Job developer relation. Job seeker. You're getting the job seekers from the. Okay, so basically the easiest way to solve this is to create a collection.
Okay.
But it's a little bit more.
So if
Rails active record collection or whatever collection.
so make seekers a collection instead of an array?
Yeah, we need to make that an active record collection. I don't know what the name of the object is. Let's see. It's something. As what? As this. It should be active record associations. Okay, I'm not sure if we can do a collection proxy. Maybe it's the easiest way. It needs to be an active record collection. Because what we can do is we can do a where and then get the other one from the relationship. But it's gonna be.
Doesn't have to be an active record relation.
Yeah, because it needs to have a page.
Yeah, not an active record
page.
collection, but an active record create relation, right?
Yeah, I'm saying association or something.
Whatever that thing is. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to create an object of that type. The function, the method. Sorry, the class is this one that we're currently using. So there should be an active record association that's not collection proxy, and eventually it will work. If not, we can't do it like that, and we need to look into it. Okay. I have a little bit more time. Okay.
So, as I understand it, this is failing because it doesn't have a page function. And agency relation has a where, which means that page function is possible somehow, but we have to get this model to use that where, which it currently isn't doing.
Yeah.
And we're not sure how to do that right now.
Nope.
Okay. Should we leave it then and go on to Vijaya's issue, which we might make more progress, and we can come back to this?
I don't care.
Vijay doesn't have any question, I believe.
Oh.
Relationships, agency, person, job seeker.
Are you still looking for a solution?
Yes.
Do you want to do that offline?
So, I don't know.
Did we have
Patrick,
it?
Patrick,
Do we
you'd
have
like to
anything?
talk about something else as well? Right? Okay. Let's try something like this. Create a scope with that where clause. Or a function like the one in agency person. Sorry, there just copy paste, just remove those, create a new function like the previous one, and call it in row of one or whatever. What happened there? Oh, move to the right. Create a function that receives the same thing as the previous function.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the same, and replace the where I have JD role key. I don't know, self dot in underscore role underscore of one.
What's this function going to do?
You're going to replace that function on your code. Just
I'm going to replace the function that starts on line 8.
no, you're not. Just call it something so we can test it on your controller.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's an agency relation. You're going to replace there where you see in roll off. You're going to replace that with the name that you're going to create. No.
Oh, okay.
And not really. Okay, just ignore me. Just create a function, give a space there, write roll underscore key. No, it's okay. In underscore roll space a variable called roll underscore key. Okay. Now where you have the 2 points JD there.
Right.
2 points JD. A little bit on the left.
2 points JD. What is 2 points JD?
It's 2 points JD. It's a symbol. Can you see the line? Go right.
Here?
Right. Yep.
Oh,
Replace
the
that
colon.
for the colon.
Okay. Replace this with
replace that
roll
for
key?
roll key. Without
Okay.
the column.
Without the colon? Okay.
Just save it, and now show me the file that you have on the left. No, the one on the left from the one you were in. That's the agency person, right? That left, yes.
There we go. Okay.
So, okay.
Nope.
Okay, no, just ignore that. Go to the controller.
Leave this file
Yeah.
alone and change the controller
Yes.
instead?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here we are.
Now you have as JD job seekers. You're going to replace that for agency underscore relations.
Okay.
Relations dot period. In role or something we called it, and now
Okay.
parentheses and column JD.
Okay.
Okay. Now save it and
It's in
refresh
roll
the
up.
page.
enroll of.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Because we made.
Yeah.
He's referring to
Okay.
this.
Yep.
Never
Enroll.
mind. I wasn't watching it. Sorry.
It's okay.
Just save it and refresh the page and see if it works.
Okay. Agency relations saved. Agency people controller saved. Okay, let's see if this works.
Hmm?
It doesn't recognize page.
Oh, an array.
Why it's an array there? I don't get it. I just did it on my. Oh, it's an array.
We could poke around this.
Yeah. We need
Tomorrow.
to look into it. I need to look into it to see how I can create a collection from this.
Okay.
May have to do an explicit join or something, but
Yeah, I think we need to do a join there. I didn't want to do that.
it'll take a while to work it out to get it correct. I know that. At least for me, it would.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Amy.
Sure, you're welcome. It's hard work, but I'm able to come with new and even more puzzling things. That
You excel at it.
yeah. All right.
Oh well.
Okay. So I'll rebase. How's that? And I can make the blank container.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go. I think in a minute or so.
Okay.
I could, if you don't get it solved tonight, Hua or Amy, I could probably look at it tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So let me know if I need to look at that.
All right. Hua, what do you need from me?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'll just
So I'll wait to hear back from
poke
you then?
around. I'll just poke around and try to get you what you need.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna peel out. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Okay,
Bye.
so I'll see you all tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.